Welcome, Pathfinders, to the Find the Path Ventures actual play of the Tales from Darkmoon Vale, Hollow's Last Hope, Episode 7.
Lucky
dun,
number
dun,
7.
dun.
Rick beat me to it.
Hero points restored.
Hero points are restored.
Technically, I lost a hero point, right?
Well, that's on you, man.
Yeah,
Should have
if
used
you-
it.
If you didn't use it,
Use
Hero
it or
points
lose it.
have reset, so everybody who, well, regardless of what number of hero points you had
Da-da-da.
before, now you have one. So,
I'm excited.
I'm sorry,
I'm
Rachel.
sad.
Emily, you
Use
had,
them. You have to spend them.
yeah, you did have 2 whole episodes to use them, so...
I know, but I didn't have like a time where I really needed to, or that I thought I needed to.
Well, in Pathfinder to 2nd edition, you need to really use them, I guess.
Sometimes I wonder if it may be okay to just like be like, you know what, I'm probably hit, but let me try again just to see if I can get a critical or something like that.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing that.
Anyway, yeah. So, for a brief recap, last time our heroes had begun exploring the main wing of the Dwarven Monastery. They encountered what seemed to be an old scribe's desk or something of that nature, finding a number of useful items and some stairs that went down. They decided, you know what, let's not just start exploring a second level yet.
Yep.
Continued down, decided to skip the nave of the monastery. You checked the waiting room and found a poor dwarf or Dwargar. It's really difficult to know at this point. Probably killed himself quite some time ago.
Adding to the mystery of this monastery.
It's true.
Yeah. The coat closet, unfortunately, also didn't have anything except for a single iron blue mushroom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clove found that and tucked it away, so you're up to 3 now, I believe?
Yes, 4 more
Yes.
left.
Okay. And from there, you found a number of rooms at the end of the hallway, and that number being 2. I don't know why I said a number. It's
Yeah.
like there's 2. Just say 2,
An
Ross. It's fine.
indeterminate number of rooms.
Infinitesimal.
Yes.
If I've
infinitesimal.
learned nothing from studying Lovecraft writing, is that you can make anything infinitely more creepy by just not explaining things.
True.
I ate a breakfast not to be described.
It actually sounds kind of creepy. Now it's like my
Yes.
mind's filling in a whole bunch of stuff that I probably don't want to talk about.
There were a number of rooms that we cannot speak of.
I went the other direction with that because when I think breakfast, I'm like, man, not to be described. That means there's probably like a mountain of waffles and pancakes.
That's the thing.
And
It's
bacon.
It could go either way.
You really don't want to know what I was thinking.
I'm gonna stick
Oozes.
with my waffles. Is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Gonna say black pudding.
Oozing maple syrup ooze.
Oh
black
god,
pudding.
a maple syrup ooze? That sounds like a wonderful monster.
After you defeat it, you can eat it.
You throw pancakes at it, and that's how you win.
It just soaks it up.
Yep.
You have to sop it all up with
Yeah.
waffles.
Yeah.
Waffles.
That's how you lure in those Canadians.
With waffles?
With
Maple
syrup.
syrup.
With
Maple
syrup.
syrup.
But
It's like the official
and
food of Canada.
so maple syrup is the official food of the plane of air,
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
where they can't have trees.
Yeah.
They can
It's
have
important.
air trees, thank you.
Yeah, you can with aeroponics. Anything is possible.
Maple trees are a special kind of tree native to the air, the plane of air.
Oh my god.
Yeah, then you had, from there you ended up finding a smaller chamber, probably some sort of sleeping chamber that contained 1 kobold and a trap.
It was sad.
The trap was disarmed,
Yeah.
the kobold ranted at you in a language none of you understood, and then proceeded to try to attack you. You, well, unfortunately had no choice but to defeat it.
Wasn't really a fair fight. We outnumbered him 6-1.
Clove cried.
True. Yeah. It wasn't...
I mean, the room
Grim
made
had
it
to pray.
somewhat more fair.
True. At the very least, it was able to get back in a corner, so not all of you could attack it at once.
Yeah. We very much could not use our superior numbers against it.
It's
Yep.
true.
Kobolds are still fairly clever.
Clove likes to think it was a good kobold. Grim, not so much.
But Grim had to pray over it, and Clove feels a little better.
It's true.
And that's more important.
But you recovered some gear from it, including a ruby and I think some more silver pieces and a whole bunch of other fun stuff. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, this kobold had bank.
yeah.
Yeah, he had platinum pieces on him. What the heck?
Oh.
No, that was the That was the other place, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the desk had the platinum pieces
Oh,
in
the
it.
desk had the platinum pieces. Okay.
But the kobold still had 62 silver pieces, which is a considerable amount of money.
There was
We're
a
buying the town of Falcon's Hollow. That's what we've decided.
ruby in the ring that I got too, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was
well,
a
I
ruby.
think there was a separate
Yes, there
ruby
was.
among the kobold stuff.
Yeah.
Rubies.
Maybe
Yes.
there's a ruby mine around here or something.
Maybe that's what's here.
Interesting.
And then oozes.
Yeah, then you open a door to what was at one point a library, and my inner librarian cried at the state of it.
Yes.
Aw.
Fortuitously, there seems to be a lot of fungus here, which may mean more iron blue mushrooms. Unfortuitously, quite a bit of that had seemed to congeal into some sort of creature.
That then attempted to kill Clove.
Well,
Yeah,
beknownst
Clove
to
didn't
Grimm
notice.
and unbeknownst to Clove, it then started to move toward her.
Yep.
True.
I did a whole big
And that's
dramatic
time.
no and
Yeah.
dive sideways in front of Clove. I don't know.
Close like mushrooms, yeah.
I suppose we'll see in a
I'm in
moment
danger.
when we pick up with some combat, and I'm going to need initiative from the party.
Ooh.
Bum bum.
And you mean I can't use my perception roll because I rolled so good?
Yeah. Is,
Oh, really?
Are we using perception?
Yes, you're using
I
perception.
assume so. That's standard.
Yeah, I think,
I didn't do bad the second time either.
okay.
The dice agreed with me in my current state. I rolled a 4 for a 10 perception.
All right.
Oh my.
So,
Oh
Clove,
no, look how big and gross it looks.
Ooh.
I know,
Ew.
right?
It's like just a little sludge thing.
Amaranth.
Matching Jess, I roll a 4, but only for a 7.
Ooh.
Oh.
Celestine.
Celestine rolls a 16 for a 21.
Okay. Astrea.
Astrea rolls a 15 for a 21.
All right. And Grimm.
Grim rolls a 16 for 20.
Okay. So, Celestine and Astrea, the two of you have the first initiative. Which one of you is going first?
Well, it looks like I'm in the room already. So
I figured
probably
that you
me.
were just behind Grimm and Clove, so...
Well, then yeah,
Yeah.
I'm good being there. Then I guess I'll go first because I'm in there.
All right, makes sense. And I guess Astrea would be, more likely to ignore it than Celestine is like, yeah, but it's still gross. All right. So, Astrea, you have 3 actions.
I am going to move forward with my first action to get base contact with the oozy thing.
Right
And then
there.
I'm going to slash down at it with my short sword.
Sounds good.
You're going to stab at it.
Step and slash. Actually, short swords are versatile now, aren't they? Yeah.
They
Yep.
are versatile, but when you roll a 3, it doesn't help very much. So it only gives me a 13.
You have a hero point.
I do have a hero point. Let's just use it. We're going to use a hero point. Because I did last time, and you know what? It was worth it because I rolled a 17, so that's a 27.
Bam, baby.
27. Impressive. You slice into this thing. You hit it. Go ahead and roll damage.
Did I crit it?
Unfortunately, no.
Man, it's really hard to crit things. Ah. So I rolled real well on that second hero point attack, but I only did 1 point of damage.
Oh.
I know.
A small piece of moss goes flying off of it into a corner before it shrivels and dies. You think you heard it. You have
Okay,
1 action remaining.
I'm going to swing at it again.
All right.
All right. So that'd be a 12 plus 10, which is a 22, minus 5, which is a 17.
A 17
Right.
hits your target.
Sweet. That's for 3 points of damage.
Ow! You swipe in again, knocking off several bits of fungus to a squelching sound as bits of it go flying off again. It doesn't really react, which makes this kind of weird. Celestine, it's your turn.
Oozes.
I guess Celestine will enter the gross room and go stand next to Clove. Well, I have to get in there.
But yeah, would you mind keeping moving? Because I also need to get in there. I was going to 5-foot step so I could be next to Clove.
There's no such thing as 5-foot steps anymore. Either way, you're going to have to move.
No, there is.
There's no
It hasn't
free
gone
5-foot
yet?
step, but... Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
so I
It
think
might go
he
before
doesn't wanna
Grimm.
provoke.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. I guess I'll keep moving.
All right,
And
you
I will
continue to move
swing.
forward.
We
So
believe in you.
You move into the room, swing, go ahead and roll your attack.
I roll a 10 for a 17.
A 17
Nice.
hits your target.
Is this thing able to be sneak attacked?
No, unfortunately.
Wait, if a 17 hits the target, the 27 should have criticaled, right?
Ross
Should've.
didn't bring up the fact that it's immune to criticals.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that yet.
Because we don't know that because we
don't
haven't
know that.
recalled knowledge.
Yeah, none of you
So
have actually
now,
rolled
I
recall
did
knowledge on it.
technically crit it.
You would have if it could be.
You would have,
If it could have
yes.
been critted, I would have critted it.
Yeah.
All right, I do 9 points of damage. My curved blade is slashing.
Ow. You swing in, cutting off a large slice of this thing. Some of the slime sticks to your sword, but you think you've hurt it.
Celestine makes a ew face as she swings down at it again with her curved blade. I roll a 17, so -5 is 12, plus my 7 is a 19.
19 hits your target.
I do another 9 points of damage to it.
You slam down a second time.
I do 10 because of forceful.
You slam down a second time, cutting more of it off, but it is still
Gross.
moving.
She kind of wiggles her curved blade like, ew, it's got stuff on it.
Yeah. Grim.
All right, Grim will heft his hammer. He will take a step forward, base contact with this, heft his hammer, and swing.
All right.
Maybe that's a 10 for 16.
A 16 hits your target.
All right. For 5 points of damage. It's not my best roll.
Hey, it still works, though. Your hammer slams into the thing as bits go flying everywhere, slime coming up in a spray. You're pretty sure you're hurting it.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
You have an action
I'm not going to
remaining.
probably hit this with a -5, so I'm going to try to recall knowledge. Do I know anything about these?
Very well. Technically, this is either nature or occultism, whichever is better for you, though I think in Grim's case, it's nature.
It's definitely nature. I'm not much of an occultist.
So, Grim, thinking it over, looking at this thing, you're certain this is a slime mold. Slime molds mostly grow in patches of, well, large areas of fungus. The fungus actually serves as a sort of symbiotic relationship with the mold itself, in that it actually processes the food down into a state the mold can eat, or the slime can eat. In addition, they're supposed to be highly infectious. They're actually terribly gross, and they contain a wide variety of diseases, poisons, or other things, depending on the type of mold.
Well, that's pleasant.
Yeah. You can ask a single question about slime molds.
Well, the hammers and swords seem to be working on this. So, resistances.
Very well. A slime mold is resistant to mental damage, unconsciousness, any visual effect, critical hits, and precision damage.
So, nothing I need to warn Amaranthe about. So,
Which is cool.
Yeah.
yeah, so Grim slams his hammer and steps back. It's a slime mold. Don't let it touch you.
Huh?
What does it do if it touches you?
They're highly infectious.
Ew.
Yeah, that's going to be it for Grim.
Which brings us around to said slime mold.
It's a target-rich environment.
Yes, it is.
I should have stayed in the hallway.
Like, I should have stayed in bed.
Yep. I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Sure thing, Dante.
Unfortunately, Celestine definitely did the most damage to it
Yeah, I know.
with that double slice.
But it has, like, 0 intelligence, so we'll see.
Yeah,
It
well,
also may have other tricks up its sleeve, metaphorically.
And then it explodes.
And then it whirlwind attacks.
Or
honestly,
it just
it
throws up on us.
Singing cloud. I don't know.
it honestly doesn't usually go for whoever damaged it the most. It just starts going for the first thing it sensed, which was the closest person to it at the beginning.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
So it'll start by going for Clove.
I mean, it can't really see. It just has a rudimentary sense of, like, light and stuff like that.
Exactly. It doesn't actually... Technically, it's given a motion sense.
Ah. It's like a T-Rex.
So, yeah.
Although Clove hasn't
So-
moved. No. Anyway,
I was inspecting mushrooms
that's
and
true.
stuff.
Clove does a 15 hit you.
No.
All right. Lashes out with a pseudopod, though Clove
Ah.
manages to stumble, not so much lively as just sort of wah out of the way. Honestly, there's a lot of close targets now, so it will attack for Clove again.
Oh God, there's a thing here. here.
12 I don't think is going to hit you either.
It doesn't.
It then, for its last attack, shifts over to Astrea.
No.
Well, does a 13 hit Astrea?
No.
Yeah, that minus 10's really not helping it at this point.
Yeah.
So, unfortunate for it. And that is its turn. Clove.
Clove immediately rages.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
Danger. And then I guess she'll just reflexively swing down with her machete at this thing.
All right.
She goes from scraping things with the machete to collect mushrooms to cutting at a slime. All right. She rolls a 15 for a 22.
A 22 hits your target.
Sweet. For 8 points of damage.
You swipe in, more bits of it flying off. You think that part of a bit of mold got into your hair.
Ew.
Ew, that's my hair. Gross. And I'm going to swing again. What the heck? She rolls a 2, which gets her a 4.
A 4, unfortunately, does not hit your target.
Quick question.
Gross.
But yeah, unfortunately, your second attack, your machete bounces off of the slime. You don't really get
stupid slime.
into it. Amaranthe, it's your turn.
So I'm going to go ahead and take a 5-foot step into the doorway, get eyes on this thing, and then cast, am I casting Electric Arc on it? Because hopefully this thing isn't very dexterous, and I'm hoping it just, like, flat fails.
It's surprising when he gets a 22 on its reflex.
How dare
It does
it?
have so
Gracious.
much dodge as like split into two for a second before reforming into one thing.
You know what? I like
that's
that.
unfortunate.
Yes, that's what happens.
Unfortunately, I apparently didn't target both halves of its lobes. So that's only 3 points of damage after the half.
I'm a giant brain.
The brains am
Basically.
winning again. All right. Yeah, no, you shock it as you smell a burnt smell, almost of vegetation that's been left out in the sun too long or something.
Oh, that just made this room
Gross.
even more pleasant.
Smells like burning fish food.
Ew.
And from there, let's go back up to the top with Astrea.
Since she's right there, just let's start wailing into this thing. So she
Yeah.
tightens her grip on her new short sword and slashes down once more.
All right.
Gosh darn it. Will 14 hit?
A 14 hits your target.
Okay, well, it's a slime.
Hey,
This thing's not hard to hit. It's just gross.
Can't roll damage today, though. 1 point of damage, and then she will slash again, so kind of brings it down and then brings her back swing right across it again
Sounds good.
Boom, boom.
for a 17
17 hits.
for 5 points of damage that time.
Nice.
And we're gonna go ahead and try the third swing. We'll see how this goes.
Hey, why not?
Let's see, that would be a 14
14 hits.
hey,
Yeah,
nice.
for 3 points of damage.
nice.
You swipe at this thing 3 times, bits of it flying off each time. You're a little bit more graceful, so you're able to do it without necessarily getting slime all over yourself, though your blade's still coated in the stuff.
Ugh.
It's not really a way to avoid that, though. Let's see here. Celestine.
I will also slash at it.
All right.
Yay.
First one is an 11 for an 18.
An 18 hits.
I do 10 points of damage.
Nice.
You swipe in a large piece of slime flying back against the ceiling above you. It's still gooey.
Celestine will swing again. I roll a 16, so that's an 11 plus 7 is 18.
18 hits again.
She does 9 points of damage.
As you chop through the thing, it simply stops squelching, it stops moving, and just sort of collapses into a rather sad little puddle of slime and fungus with a single...
That was disgusting.
Yeah, I'm out. Bye. And Clove, blinks and is back to herself.
I just like that Rosemary's like, you know what? Nah, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Wait, so, like, you don't go the full minute, you're just like, Rose is like, nah, this is gross.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Celestine will walk back across the hall and grab one of the old pieces of cloth and start trying to get this grossness off of her sword.
Clove, Clove, would you mind bending down?
Sure.
Grim will reach
bend
up
down.
and take the clump of moss out of her hair and kind of toss it off to the side.
Ew.
Make sure to clean yourselves off thoroughly. These things are disgusting.
Yeah, I think Astrea is going to follow Celestine's lead and go find some of the old cloth and clean her sword off as well.
I'm gonna look for the mushrooms that we need.
Yeah, Grim's going to
Amarant's
continue
going to
searching.
guard the hallway.
Before either of you continues to search the room, first of all, Clove, as you approach the back wall, one of the sections with a bookcase, looking it over, as you begin to approach, you stop yourself, noting that there's some fungus spores here that are definitely poisonous.
I think we should just leave this room alone.
There's a chance you could possibly get rid of them, but you'd have to work at it pretty carefully.
There's some pretty poisonous mushroom spores in here. So, I mean, I could try to get rid of them if you want me to.
No, I think your idea is good. We should search the rest of this place, see if we can find the other mushrooms we need. And if we can't, we can come back and risk this.
Okay. She leaves immediately, because that's bad.
Sounds good.
Yep. Grim makes his way back out into the hall. I suppose then there's these double doors into the nave, and then the stairs down is all that remains to us.
Celestine begins leading the way back towards the double doors.
Okay.
Grim takes up his position in the middle.
You know, for a teacher, you don't talk that much, Amaranthe.
Well, I didn't exactly think this was the time for a lecture.
There's nothing, artistically interesting here?
Oh, there's loads of interesting artistic things here. It's more just difficult to take in whenever there's danger around every corner and we're potentially going to die at any moment.
We've done all right.
Yes, for now.
Well, way to be pessimistic there.
More realistic. I mean, at least for me, I'm not a trained adventurer, anything like that, so...
Well, neither
don't have
am
a lot of
I.
confidence in
I've
this.
never left the town before.
I rest my case. Exactly.
I don't know how that rests your case at all.
Well, I guess he's been a soldier before.
I have years of experience. We are doing quite well, I think. And as long as we continue to be cautious and watch one another's backs, I think we'll make our way through here quite well. Realistically speaking, we stand a better chance than most.
How's Reggie?
Reggie squeaks.
Amaranth pulls out Reggie.
You think Reggie's learned her name at the very least.
He pulls out a bean, feeds
Stop
Reggie.
feeding her. I told you not to feed her that much.
Does Reggie take the food?
Reggie
Probably
looks
not.
at it. You almost think she sighs, and
She knows her name, though. That's smart.
she nibbles on it for a moment before just sort of taking it, going back up to your shoulder, and just sort of holding it.
I don't think she's hungry right now.
You should just try
it's a
feeding
snack
at
for later.
specific times.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps dawn,
Like when you eat food.
noon, and dusk. Don't feed it after dark. Especially after midnight.
Don't put it in water.
Yeah, don't let it get
Don't
wet.
let it get
Don't
wet.
let it don't expose it to direct sunlight.
But you approach the double doors. These have been, well, much like the rest of the monastery, these have not necessarily borne the passage of time well, but at the very least, they're well enough that they can still operate normally. So there's that. But the stone doors simply lie closed before you.
Celestine will look them over.
Don't
And
think
if-
there's any traps.
Yeah, if nothing jumps out at her, she'll push them open.
Pushing open the door, it also creaks open. Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome.
Light pours into the room from the light spells that you take with you, though, of course, much like the rest of the chambers here, there's no light inside already, and the roof is in good enough condition that it's not open to the sunlight. Pews of dark wood lie tipped over and covered in dust on either side of this shrine. At the far end sits a large ceremonial anvil, though its surface has been scarred and ruined by, you guess, a number of implements.
This was
was a
once a
grumpy
solely
sound he
place to
made.
Toerag. This was most likely the heart of the temple, the shrine. It's sad to see it in this shape. This was sacred ground once.
Well, I mean, isn't there always a chance it could be again?
It could be, but this place is far from its people now. We should still check here, see what we can find.
Celestine will lead the way into the room and begin searching.
Yep, Clove looks for mushrooms.
All right, as you all start making your way into the room, I do need a perception check from the party.
So notice the kobolds up in the choir pew getting ready to shoot arrows down at us.
The organ suddenly starts playing.
That's presumptuous.
I didn't say there was an organ in here. How did you know?
There's always an organ.
Dwarves are famed for their love of pipe organs.
Clove, what did you get?
Clove rolls a 12 for a 18.
All right, Amaranth,
I roll an 18 for a 21.
Nice.
Celestine.
I roll a 2 for a 7.
Yikes.
Uh-oh. Astrea.
I roll a 17 for a 23.
Grim.
14 for an 18.
Astrea. As you walk forward, probably keeping an eye on everybody else, I don't think you're actually directly looking for mushrooms or magic or any other bits and bobs that might be useful.
Nah.
You take a cursory glance at the ceiling and see movement up there. You have enough time to register a pair of strange, almost cloth-like shapes that begin descending from the ceiling. They're dusky gray forms opening as they launch to some form of strange attack.
Darbats!
What?
And we're headed right into combat.
Whoa.
Right back again.
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
At least I rolled well this time.
I figured Astrea just goes, look out!
Huh?
What are
That's what
these
Clove always
things
says.
called? If they're what I'm thinking
Dark
they
mantles?
are. Yeah.
I guess that's what they would be. I don't know.
How do you know? We haven't.
Well, there are a
Been
lot of
shown
things
that,
down
or-
here. So it could be bats, it could be dark mantles, it could be cloakers, it could be...
Yeah, cloakers also.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay, so Astrea, you have first initiative. These creatures are currently at the ceiling. They're currently about 10 feet in the air.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I do have a short bow, so I'm gonna action sheath my sword, action
Okay.
draw my bow, action
Okay.
shoot my bow.
Okay, which one? The one to the north or the south?
North. The one that's north of me.
Sounds good.
Well, I guess technically they're both north of me because they're both above me, but map-wise, the one that's up above, to the north.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. So going ahead and make your
Roll
attack.
on the dice. Oh. Yeah, that's not a good one. Apparently, I was too into my sword skills and not my bow skills, and I rolled a nat 1.
Oh.
Ouch.
Very well. Your arrow slams against the ceiling next to the thing as it just sort of shatters into a number of shards and splinters falling everywhere. As we go to the creatures,
Uh-oh.
They decide just to leave us alone. It's all good.
they swoop in, focusing their attention on Grim and Astrea.
Yeah.
So first they need to move. The one attacking Grim is going to go ahead and attempt to claw him. Oh, jeez. It gets a
Ross.
25,
That'll do. Yeah.
making up for that slime mold not doing anything earlier.
Yeah, that'll hit.
It swings in for 3 points of damage,
Ouch.
clawing and raking against you with its very strange... Its claws actually seem to be at the... So to give a better description of these things almost seem like bolts of cloth that just sort of float in the air. But at the edge, or the hem, I guess, one has a number of claws. This one rakes down at Grim, and then...
So I'm picturing something like a manta ray, but with like a fanged edge to it.
I
Yep.
think it's just like a killer sheet.
Either that or I'm being attacked by like Doctor Strange's cloak.
It's the carpet from Aladdin.
Or yeah, or carpet.
With claws.
Okay, so it's going to go on ahead and grab you
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
All right.
as it swipes on. So according to this, they actually have the grab ability, which means as long as they hit, they can automatically grab until
Spending
the end
an
of their
action.
next turn. Yes, by
All
spending
right.
an action. So it's going to go in and do that, grabbing onto your shield arm. Unfortunately, you can't use the shield to strike it, but you still have your other hand free, so there's that.
Okay.
And then the other one's going to go on ahead and attack Astrea. Apparently these things just hate you. 22 to hit Astrea.
Yeah, that'll hit.
All right. For 4 points of damage, as it also grabs
Ow.
on, and it will just grab on to probably your free hand, the one not holding your bow.
Jerk.
Yeah, that's their turn, though. So, from there, Amaranthe, it's your turn.
Okay, step 1, recall knowledge. What are these?
Nice.
Amaranthe, you're not sure.
Uh-oh.
You can try again.
I could try again, or I could just light them up.
You could hit both of them.
I know, so I'm going to cast Electric Arc, hitting both of them.
All right, sounds good. So they both get reflex saves.
Indeed.
Well, my, how the turns table. So, the one on Grim rolls a natural 1.
Nice.
Yes!
It only got an 11 normally, so I'm assuming that's a critical failure.
And getting an 11, no, it doesn't fail by 10.
But it rolled a nat
But it rolled a
one.
nat 1, so
Yeah.
it's still a crit fail?
Yep.
Okay.
What Ross was saying is if it would still have passed if it rolled a 1, it would have just been a regular failure.
Oh, yeah, no, it wouldn't have.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one gets a total of a 14, which I also assume doesn't pass.
Yes, that's a fail.
Okay. So
Nice.
one critical
Huzzah.
failure and one failure.
All right. So the one that fails takes 6, the one that crit fails takes 12.
Ow.
Woo!
Lightning flashes, arcing from your outstretched hand between them. Yeah, the one that's on Astrea sort of shudders but keeps latching on. The one on Grim just sort of shakes violently for a moment. It's still moving, but it did not like that.
Woo! I'm useful. Even if I couldn't remember what this thing is.
You've been useful. That's been a cool spell you've been using.
I use it to death.
The one spell.
The one spell.
You have other spells, right?
I do have other spells. I'm saving most of them.
All right, Grim, it's you or Clove next, between the two of you.
I mean, you can go since you're grabbed.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
All right, that works. Grim.
Yeah, so Grim's just going to bring his hammer around and, like, tuck his shield in close to his chest and kind of like a warrior taunting another warrior begins slamming his hammer onto his shield, which I believe this thing is grabbed onto, so...
That's
Yep.
startles Clove, and she screams a little bit.
That's 15.
A 15 sadly does not strike your target.
Uh-oh.
You hit
All
your
right.
shield, but you don't think the thing was on it. Or at least not on that part.
I can't use my shield.
Not
I
while
don't know
it's
if these things
attached, no.
fly up, how much of an issue this is going to be. So Grim's going to drop the hammer.
Okay.
Oh.
He's going to reach down, pull out that magical hatchet that he just got in case this thing decides to fly off. And you know what? He's going to go ahead and take a swing with only a -4 penalty
Nice.
because this is agile.
Yeah, there you
Hey.
Moving along. Be adjusted. Adjusted 5.
go. Yeah, no. 5 unfortunately does not hit your target.
Now, this thing caught Grim a little off guard.
Clove.
Clove wants to see if she can recall knowledge.
All right.
I have to do it before I rage.
No, unfortunately, Clove does not know what these are.
Nope, these are terrible. Clove rages.
All right.
So, you know, she blanches. She looks over. The hammering scared her a little bit. And also, these are scary flying pieces of cloth
Yeah,
that are trying to strangle her friends.
it's true. Not fun.
So, she will then spend her last action to hack at it with her machete.
All right.
She rolls a 9 on the dice for a 16.
A 16 hits your target, and I'm so sorry,
All right.
Grim.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
For minimum damage, which is 7.
Ow.
Get off my dwarf friend, fiend!
I thought you were going to say get off that grandpa, which would have been very funny.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm going to do that instead. Get off that grandpa, rude!
Yay!
That's so much funnier.
And this thing's name is
Yes.
now Rude. Anyway,
Is the
Yeah,
other
the
one
one
I like to say
Reno?
rude.
Yeah.
yeah, yes. Rude and Reno. Better steal from them. They've got some nice
And
armor
they're
on them.
attacking us in a church, too.
This is true.
Nice.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, no, you slam into it, swiping across this thing's form. You open up part of it as this sort of grayish blood wells out of it.
Ew.
It's still moving, but you don't think for long. Let's see. And that brings us to Celestine.
Do I have this proper skill to try to recall knowledge for these?
I mean, technically you can always recall knowledge. It's an untrained action.
All right, well, I'll try.
All right. Nope. No idea.
Nope, no idea.
Wow,
All right.
this is crazy.
So I will swing at or stab at the one that's attacking Astrea.
All right.
I roll an 8 for 15, which I don't think is going to hit.
A 15 sadly does not hit. As Astrea is trying to probably just flail it off of her, and it just keeps moving out of the way.
All right. My second strike is an 18, so 13 plus 7 is 20 to hit.
A 20 does hit your target. It's like, get it off, get it off, get it off.
Celestine does 6 points of damage. Astrea, quit flailing.
I'm trying to get it off.
You swipe across it, more of that gray blood spilling onto the temple floor here. It still seems to have some fight left in it, though. And Astrea, it's your turn.
So he doesn't have me grappled or anything, right?
Technically,
Like
it
I
does.
can still. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're
so
grabbed.
I can't like drop my bow and grab my sword.
No, you can. You just can't grab it with the hand it's currently grabbed onto.
Okay.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The grabbed condition gives you the immobilized condition as well, correct? You're
This is
flat-footed
also
and
true.
immobilized?
Yes.
Yeah, immobilized requires a flat
DC 5 flat check to grab something.
to manipulate an object, yes.
Yes. So to draw your sword, chances are you'll be able to. It's just there is technically a chance you'll fail.
I got a 13.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can grab your sword.
Okay. So is it a free action to drop my... Do I need to drop my bow? Because that's the one it's grabbed, right?
No, it's grabbed your other hand, so you would need
okay.
to drop your bow to draw your sword.
Okay. So I drop my bow, grab my sword, slash at it.
Okay.
Ooh, you do that thing where you pull it out of the sheath and slash at the same time?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like the samurai
Like
thing.
Rurouni
I like
Kenshin
it.
style?
Well, I rolled a 19 for a 29.
A 29
Dang.
hits your target, yeah. That is, in fact, a critical hit.
Yeah!
Nice.
Rachel likes the critical.
Dang it. And that's only 2 points of damage.
Oh. We gotta give you
Oh.
some strength, honey. You need some strength.
I'm so sad.
You hit it. I mean, more blood flows, but you think you didn't really wound it much. However, you dropped, drew, attacked. You have one action left.
I'm going to attack it again.
Yeah?
Keep stabbing.
That would be 11 plus 10, 21 minus 4, because my weapon is agile. So 17
17 hits.
All right.
for 2 points of damage.
You stab it again. Again, a small cut drawing blood as you just keep stabbing it against your arm. I suppose you're probably trying to be very careful not to hit your arm by mistake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's still attached, but you think you've wounded it a couple of times.
Nice.
Okay, so unfortunately, well, I mean, fortunately for them, unfortunately for you, you're technically grabbed until the end of their turn.
Oh no.
So they're both going
They're
to go
bad
on
thing.
ahead.
I think they can use an action to just maintain it, correct?
Yes. So
Like-
first of all, they both do that. The one attacking Grim is going to go on ahead and attempt to constrict Grim. I need a
Ugh.
fortitude save.
Uh-oh.
Well, you made a terrible mistake in trying to constrict a dwarf. That would be an 18 for a 26.
Nice.
Oh, wow. All right, so you take half damage from the
Dwarf.
constriction, Grim. So you take 1 point of damage as it tries to constrict you.
I was hoping for a critical success. I don't know if there is one for that. It's
Yeah.
1 point of damage.
There is, technically.
Oh,
you just
wow,
didn't
man, that
quite
DC
get
must be
there.
high.
Yeah, it's pretty high, but it will go on ahead and attempt to constrict again, which gives you another fortitude save.
All right. See if this holds up.
I'm just going to try to squeeze the life out of you.
That's not great. Just did 15.
A
So
15
7 and
sadly
8,
does-
15.
Yeah, 15 sadly does not succeed.
Yeah.
You
too
still
cocky.
only take 1 point of damage, though.
Okay.
It rolled much worse this time.
This is rather unpleasant.
Astrea, I also need a fortitude save from you.
Oh, that's not very good. I rolled a 4 for a 4 and 11.
Okay, well, that does fail. Fortunately, you don't critically fail, though, so...
Toerag! I
yeah.
go ahead and activate my retributive strike.
There
Even
you
though
go.
I can't strike or do anything retributive, but it does knock off the first 3 points of damage.
It does, which brings it down to 1 point of damage.
That's the best I can do.
I like that essentially
That works
Grimm's
for
always
me.
like, Toerag, you owe me. Like, that's kind of...
The greatest thing about it is I can say that, but I can't use that power on myself.
Aw,
True. But Astrea, I also need another fortitude save as it continues to constrict you.
that's much better. That'd be a 13 for 20.
A 20 succeeds, so this time you take half damage. For another 1 point of damage. I swear these things could do more than one constrict damage. They just don't
I mean,
seem to...
they're chipping away at me.
It's true. They're just sort of slowly nomming on you.
It seemed like that first one probably would have done 4, so
Yeah, it
They're not
would have. Yeah. All
get
right.
a lot of mileage out of that reaction.
Yeah, true. It's a good reaction, honestly. I'm
It
a
is a
big
very
fan.
good reaction. I'm very happy with it. I wish I had
Amaranth.
ranged retribution because I could have thrown this hatchet at it.
Oh, yeah, that would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. But oh well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Need to switch
Same
to a
as was
hatchet build.
Amaranth, it's your turn.
All right, second verse, same as the first. I cast Electric Arc again. Hold on, everyone, hold on!
All right, they'll both try some reflex saves. Okay, this is much better for them. The one on Grim gets a 22. The
That
one on
saves.
Astrea rolls a perfect 20
Dang it!
30.
That's a critical success for no damage.
All right, but the one on Grim still takes half damage.
It's gonna take 3 points of damage.
It shudders. Grim, you feel a slight tingling on your arm as some of the electricity courses through it. Before it just sort of lets go and falls off, landing with a sort of plop.
Oh, Amaranthe,
looks
I do
down.
love it when you make the sparks fly. Celestine grins at him.
Just get a room already.
Inappropriate in the middle of combat. Make
not
such
my dad.
insinuations.
You're not my
You're not my
dad.
dad. Wow.
Grim looks down at this thing, looks up at the elf, and nods in appreciation. I'm sure his beard doing this like giant poof thing in every direction.
Oh yeah, it's just a big old poofy beard.
Well played.
Grim,
man.
that makes it your turn, too.
Grim is going to step up next to our resident fighter, heft this hatchet and swing.
Sounds good.
There we have it. So that's a 24.
Yeah, 24 hits your target. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Ooh, 9 points of damage for that first swing.
Nice.
Whoa! You bury your hatchet in the thing as blood spurts everywhere. It just sort of stops moving, limply falling to the ground.
Well played.
Thank you. You're right,
Since when
Astrea.
can curtains come to life and strangle people? What the heck?
I guess I'll try a recall knowledge on this as well. See if
Yeah, I will as well, if we got the time.
We can all recall.
Well, at the very least, Grim does get it, so I guess we'll start with that. Grim, you recognize these creatures as dusk mantles.
dusk mantles.
Oh.
Are those the same as dark mantles? Did they change the name?
Actually, I think they're dark mantles. I wrote it down wrong. I'm sorry.
oh,
they are dark
maybe
mantles.
they changed the names. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I for some reason I keep doing that because I just think dusk mantle sounds cooler, but
It does. It sounds rad.
But they're dark
maybe a
mantles.
dusk mantle is the name for like a surface dwelling dark mantle.
maybe.
Oh, I
It's
like
a
that.
subspecies.
They're strange creatures from the Darklands. They don't tend to exist on the surface much, but when they do, they prefer places of darkness. They can use light to help detect prey, though honestly they don't need it to see.
Grim strokes his beard, half in thought, half to try to get it under control. They're dark mantles. They're residents of the Darklands, the underground caverns that the dwarves originally hailed from. But they're here, which means that there must be a deeper connection somewhere nearby.
We did find those stairs down. I wonder how deep they actually go.
Probably very deep if such things are coming up, right?
They would have to be very deep indeed.
Well, would the Duergar have brought them here when they controlled the monastery, kept them as weird guardian pet things, and they've just been around since then?
I didn't run into that when I fought the Durgar myself in the past, but that doesn't mean that it didn't happen, so it's possible. Do I know, like, approximately how long they live?
They tend to be fairly short-lived predators. Usually their lifespan is a decade or less. Generations of dark mantles actually crop up and can change rapidly.
Well, because if this temple fell with the collapse of Tarkadrum, that was 250 years ago.
Well, couldn't they have made more dark mantles?
Potentially.
Ew.
We should keep an eye out further for them, but I think we handled them rather readily. Are you alright, Astrea?
I'm a little beat up.
I am as well, so...
Clove will come back to herself and offer to heal whoever, or herbalism, whoever needs it.
Now, Astrea, you've already done in the
No, it's
last
me.
hour? Okay.
I did Celestine.
Yeah, I'm down 6 hit points.
Yeah, it was Celestine. She didn't do Astrea.
Well,
I can heal you a lot more than that.
I was more saying that Grim's actually down a lot more than that, so I could use my lay on hands, heal her for 6, while you could bandage
Okay,
me
I'll
up.
do you.
Yeah.
While that's
And
going
that'll
on,
let me identify a magic item.
I am going to search the Fane or the Knave or whatever we're calling it while that is going on.
The shrine.
I get an 18 on my nature check to natural medicine wrap up
Yep.
and bandage.
That
And Grim
succeeds,
automatically
you can
heals
roll.
Astrea for 6.
Perfect.
8 is what I roll on those 2d8s.
Nice.
That brings me up to full.
Cool.
Okay, and then so we have 3 magic items that we could I can identify while we're doing that. So I've got the potion of question mark, the question mark ring, and the question mark hatchet
Do the ring.
that Grim was rocking.
I was gonna say maybe the
Ring?
potion, it might be useful.
We're pretty sure that's probably healing, right?
We won't know till we drink it.
Maybe. Grim could remove the ring, hand that over to Amaranthe, and
Yeah.
can I inspect the shrine as I pray?
Yeah, I'd say that's
seems
absolutely
appropriate.
part of your
Okay.
devotion.
I'm assuming...
This was a shrine to Toerag, after all.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was assuming it's a shrine of Toerag, so...
All right, so Celestine and Grim, you can both go ahead and make perception checks. Grim, I don't think this is to recall knowledge. I'd say it's just more insight. So go ahead and roll Dwarven lore for me, please.
Okay.
Celestine gets a 19 on her perception check.
Okay.
All right, so my perception check is only a 12, but my Dwarven lore is a 23.
Okay. So with a 19, Celestine taking a look around. Grim, you don't find anything of particular interest.
Yeah, he's a little upset.
Yeah, probably not focusing on the surroundings so much as the central portion of the shrine itself anyway.
Yeah, dusting off the stone with calloused hands, whispering prayers to the old gods.
The old gods?
My old gods. All dwarf gods are old.
Not the great old ones.
No.
The old boys.
Celestine, with a 19, truthfully, the only thing you really note is that this area doesn't look like it's been crossed over in some time as well. There is still heavy cakes of dust here, and frankly, you don't see any tracks or anything like that. You also don't find anything useful except for shards of dark wood here and there. I mean, you might be able to make some neat jewelry out of it, but beyond that, nothing super useful.
I don't think the kobolds or the wargs really have gone through here. It seems mostly left alone.
It's quite possible that the kobolds were not allied with these dark mantles. They may have avoided this chamber.
Well, that leaves us the stairs down.
Grim, looking over the chamber, looking over the central shrine, of course, this brings you a great deal of sadness. The anvil here has been defaced in a number of ways, both chiseled and covered in acid and any number of terrible things. You still see, at least in part, the symbol of Toerag emblazoned on the top of the anvil here, though this has been marked through quite a bit. And one thing you note that, while uncommon in shrines, is still something that you're aware of. There are 5 indentations that don't look like they were actually made by somebody trying to damage the shrine. They were already here whenever this anvil was made. You recall that most monasteries, to Toerag especially, but most dwarven monasteries in general, Prepare the central shrine to use magical effects in the case of emergency, usually by putting some sort of gemstone or other device onto one of these indentations. It allows to temporarily bolster any creature nearby.
Celestine,
Yes.
are you carrying those gems that we found on that kobold?
I have the ruby.
Gems are sacred to the dwarven clans. Let me see them.
She
I
hands
think
over
it was
the
just
ruby.
one, wasn't it?
It's just
I only
a
have
ruby.
written down one ruby.
I thought we had like a ruby, and I thought we had a different gemstone.
No,
is it just the
there's
ruby?
the ruby
Okay.
that's in the ring, and then there's the ruby we found with the kobold, and that's it.
Grim takes the ruby. Is it about, like, when you say indentations, is it like a shallow indentation, or is it like something
Yeah.
supposed to be slotted into it, or?
It's fairly shallow, but looking at the ruby and looking at the indentation, you're certain that it would fit right in.
I'm going to attempt to use this.
Oh my.
Grim kneels, says a prayer to Toerag, takes the gem, places it, I guess, in just one of the 5 slots on there.
You place the gemstone in the slot.
The first one.
Is it 5 in a row, or 5 in a circle, or?
It's 5 in a circle. Yeah, you could choose technically the northernmost, or the one closest to you is probably one of the ones at the bottom.
If there's one pointing towards like the front of the anvil, like the extended, I can't remember what that's called. Horn? I think it's the horn.
Yeah, the left-hand side then would.
Okay. Yeah, so I set it in place. Toerag, bless us and help us in recovering this place for your glory.
You place the ruby on the altar here, and all of you immediately hear a sound of hammer striking anvil. It is incredibly loud, though not deafening, strangely enough.
All right, well, now everyone definitely knows we're here.
Is that good?
Oh, that's a blessed sound.
You all feel yourselves... Honestly, you feel a sort of fire within you that you didn't know was there a moment ago. It seems like the fire of a forge meant to temper rather than destroy. And with the blessing of Toerag, and in game mechanics turn, all of you have gained 5 temporary hit points.
Ooh,
Nice.
In addition to this, you are all affected by a bless spell for the next hour.
nice.
The bless spell gives you a +1 status to attack rolls.
Ooh. Oh, nice.
Toerag still watches over this place.
So what was that exactly?
As I mentioned before, monasteries are also fortresses. This would be a place where the soldiers could come and receive the blessings of Toerag before going into battle. But I'm assuming is the gemstone gone?
No, it's still there, though it no longer shines quite as brightly.
Toerag draws the strength from the stones, the shrine does, and channels the power of Toerag into the warriors defending the monastery. As we are now retaking it, Toerag has recognized us as being warriors in service to a greater cause. And he's aiding us.
So could everything hear the hammer sound, or was that just us?
I'm gonna assume everyone could.
Yeah, no, everyone... I mean,
No,
it-
I mean, like, was it an outside sound, or was it like a sound that only we could hear because we activated it?
No, I'm sure it rang out through the entire monastery.
saying it that way is hard for you to know because there's no one else besides the 5 of you here
Sure.
that could possibly have heard it.
It's quite possible that it rang through all of these halls to let our enemies know that we are coming, and that they should flee.
Okay.
I think Amaranthe is still spending his 10 minutes to identify this magical item, although he's glancing a little side-eye over at this ritual and making some mental notes.
Is the ruby in the ring the same size?
No, the ruby is a little smaller in the ring.
Okay.
However, Amaranthe, glancing over this, taking your time out,
There's a part of my brain that's like, did we miss other rubies? Are we supposed to complete all 5 and get some sort of super buff? Also, how horrible would the final boss of this place be if we need a 5 dwarven buff spell from Toerag?
yeah.
We'll find out.
Glancing over this ring, though, honestly, these are supposed to be fairly rare. These are given to favored priests of Toerag, usually in so much as those that are skilled in making arms and armor as much as they are skilled at leading a flock of dwarves.
I like that a group of dwarves is now a flock. That's my favorite thing.
Much like the birds that we first came and found to appreciate when we reached the sky. We looked up and said, what are those horrible yet majestic creatures? Turns out they were pigeons, but...
Sorry. Just like, whoa.
They are the
Just
most
like,
noble
oh.
of animals.
But looking at this is a ring of Toerag. It
Cool.
is a relatively
Fancy.
rare magical item. While it is worn and invested, first of all, it gives you a constant +1 item bonus on any saving throw against a fire effect.
Wow.
Spiffy.
Nice.
Beyond this, though, once per day, you gain an extra reaction. If you are... That can be triggered anytime that you are in an area or targeted by a fire effect. Once you use this reaction, you gain a resistance to fire of 10 for the duration of that attack.
Nice.
Ooh. I'm guessing Grim's going to take that.
I bet there's fire soon.
I mean, if there are no objections, Grim's going to slide that back on, I guess invest it.
It feels appropriate for you to keep that.
I feel that we are on a right and righteous path.
It does appear that Toerag is smiling upon us, having gifted us with a boon as well as such an item as this.
Toerag is active in the defense of his people, so let us hope that this is enough against whatever we might face below. I believe that this is the last of the surface that we have not explored.
Yep, time for the stairs.
Very well.
Celestine leads the way back towards the stairs.
One last question, actually. Is this anvil attached to the floor, or can it be moved?
It is attached to the floor.
I'm about to say, we were not hauling a big-ass anvil with us throughout the rest of this adventure.
If it wasn't attached when we left, Grim was going to bring it back to make a shrine closer to the city for everyone. But no, if it's
Yeah.
attached to the floor, then...
Pretty
Unfortunately,
sure the
it is
Lumber
completely
Consortium
attached.
doesn't really want a shrine of Toerag right near
Or
town.
any fire around all their trees.
If they tolerate Iamade, they'll tolerate Toerag.
Yeah, for real.
The Lumber Consortium will like what we tell them to like.
We own this town now.
Yeah.
Here's our platinum.
I'm assuming that the ruby is in essence valueless now, or...
No, it is still worth the 35?
Okay.
35 gold.
Yeah, 35 gold it was worth before. It just, the magic has drained out of it. And unfortunately, none of you had tried to, detect magic on it, but...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
There
So
was
the
a
magic
magical
of that
aura
was
on
key
it.
to this. I see.
Yeah.
Biffy.
But yeah, you didn't detect magic because, of course, it was a gemstone. I didn't necessarily expect you to.
Of course. Yeah, so Grim will
It was
slide on
extra
the
shiny.
Ring of Toerag, invest it, and I suppose take up his place in the middle as Celestine leads the way.
So you begin to descend the steps, each step echoing throughout the chamber below. You find yourself in what appears to at first just simply be a root cellar dug out over here. It extends maybe some 30 to 40 feet and maybe some 20 feet wide before it ends in really what appears to be a hastily constructed door of some kind. A number of wooden slats more or less lashed together without really any thought as to stability or structure or any sort of fine tuning. You note two major features here. The first, light glints out into the corner, and you can see really a number of mushrooms growing in a patch over by the doors. However, this seems less important to the compared to the trio of occupants in this chamber.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hello.
There are three canid forms, one bigger than the other two.
Oh.
The creature in the middle, the bigger one, tilts its head almost quizzically, looking at all of you as you head down the stairs.
Well, good morning, Mr. or Ms. Warg.
I am Grim.
Good morning.
I had warned you of our coming yesterday. I again hope that we
Warning
can come to an
sounds
understanding.
Ominous.
Tell me, pink ones, why are you here?
We simply need some of those mushrooms. There's a sickness in our town, and they're part of the cure.
Are those the actual iron bloom mushrooms that we need?
They look similar to the ones you've already found, so probably.
Okay.
You'd probably have to get closer to inspect them, but, there are three wolves in the way.
Fair enough.
Why are you here, inhabiting this place, so close to the lands of man?
The lizard ones feed me and my fellows. They keep us rich in meat and blood. They ask that I guard their lair. They're sniveling little cowards.
Agreed.
But they are good at finding food.
Seems like a good arrangement.
I'm a big fan of it, yeah.
So, can we take some of those mushrooms and be on our way then?
What man town are you from?
Falcon's Hollow, most recent.
Well, I suppose we have a problem there.
Uh-oh.
You see, once all the humans are dead, their meat was promised to me and mine.
By who?
The kobold.
The one who started the plague.
The Kobold King.
Oh, the king?
Oh, you have no idea how much he wants you all to suffer. The wolf, the ward, licks his lips. You all are tastier when you're annoyed. Let's get down to it, shall we?
Uh-oh.
I would like to rage.
This guy.
The warg howls, the wolves following suit.
Yikes.
They all
This is
begin
gonna be
to
rough.
charge, and we'll pick it up here next time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Man. And
So
Gracious.
these wolves
leading
are
these poor
man-eaters.
wolves astray.
We left a man-eating wolf alive.
human flesh!
The Kobold King wants to kill the whole town.
First of his name, King of the Kobolds.
Find the Path Ventures is an officially licensed partner of Paizo Incorporated. Hollow's Last Hope is copyright 2007. Hollow's Last Hope and the Game Mastery module line are trademarks of Paizo. All Game Mastery images are property of Paizo and used with permission.